we were together in Baltimore for this year's conference, where I think we invited the president to come and talk to us about issues. And so Cynthia and I were sitting at the first table before the president. He was about 6 feet away from me. And so in part of his presentation, he says, and I don't know why he looked at me, he says, and some of you think that my health care reform proposal is some kind of Bolshevik plot. And so at that point I was saying, yeah, I think that might be like that, because the TV cameras are rolling, so I tries to keep it straight. But we had our first a joint session of Congress. There's only been 4 in the history of the country. 2 about war, and 1 by former President Clinton on health care, and now we had 1 from President Obama about health care. And I was sitting behind my friend from South Carolina, Joe Wilson. And Joe Wilson and I serve on the House Armed Services Committee, and he's got to be one of the nicest people I've ever met. Quiet, soft-spoken. And so I'm sitting just right behind him, just to the left and right behind him. And when the president and my bill, which is interesting that it was my bill because he never put forward a bill, it was Nancy Pelosi's bill, but he said, and my bill does not allow illegal immigrants to get benefits. And so I saw Joe Wilson lean forward, and I saw him raise his finger up, and then he goes, you lied. And then I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be a story tomorrow. So then we got to get up afterwards and kind of giving our ceremonial applause line. And I look down and Joe Wilson's gone. But Rob Emanuel, the President Chief of Staff, is making a beeline right to me, looking for Joe Wilson, just red as a beet, swearing at everybody that was in his way. And Joe Wilson had left. He just, I looked and he was gone. And I saw him the next morning. And he looked like he didn't get a lick of sleep the whole night. And it just looked like death warmed over. And I put my arm around his shoulder and I said, Joe, I think something's good is going to come out of this. And I think the American people are going to understand why you did what you did. And the reason why he did what he did is because Joe Wilson had offered in committee the enforcement mechanism that the Democrats purposely left out concerning illegal immigration. Twice he offered it, twice it failed along the party line vote. And I said the American people are going to learn about what you tried to do. And they're going to understand the differences between what you tried to do and what the president said. Joe Wilson, in the next couple of weeks, raised over $2 million on his campaign website. Well, just before the State of the Union, Republican leadership came in and gave us a little lecture about protocol and behavior, because we saw it as a great fundraising tool. For a shoe, you like it, whatever. So it went without incident. But it is amazing that the mainstream media and the Democrats in Washington calling Republicans in Congress the party of no. If we are the party of no because we voted against a stimulus package that did nothing but bury this country in debt, then I'm proud to be called the party of no. If we are called the party of no because we voted against a cap-and-trade energy policy that would have raised the price of energy for all Americans and pushed American manufacturing jobs overseas, I am proud to be called the party of no. And indeed, the party of no is voting against an unconstitutional health care plan, a government takeover of our health care system. I am proud to be in the party of no. There are times when I go and visit our soldiers that have come home from Iraq and Afghanistan who have been wounded and are at Bethesda Naval Medical Hospital or Walter Reed Army Hospital. And I see those soldiers and those Marines, sometimes double amputees, and I am reminded of the sacrifices that they made in defense of freedom that we sometimes take for granted. Well, I want to tell you this, that I know that folks like me get in front of you every couple of years and tell you this is the most important election. Well, this time I really mean it. This is the most important election. Because America is at a crossroads. And this election will be a referendum on the path that America goes down. This election will be a referendum on whether America goes down the path of European socialism or returns to a path of limited government and individual responsibility. This election will be a referendum on whether America continues to go down the path of reckless reckless spending and buries our children and grandchildren in crushing debt, or whether we return to fiscal discipline and try to move to achieve a balanced budget. This election will determine whether America still projects weakness abroad, or whether we achieve peace through strength by maintaining a strong military. This election is about freedom. This election is about individual liberty. And you need to work in this election as if your very freedom depends on it, because it certainly does. God bless you, Elbert County Republicans, for all you do for the Republican cause. And God bless Colorado and the United States of America.